Hello everybody, Josh Shernoff here for Premier Streaming Network, and I am joined now by the ring general, the third longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, Gunther. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
So you are, if my calculations are correct, 11 days away, as we record this today, 11 days away from becoming the second longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, and 40 days away from becoming the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time. But I'm going to hit you with a little trivia. The longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, the Honky Tonk Man, of course you know that. He lost the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. Ooh. Just wanted to, I don't know what that means, but I just want to throw that out there. But a question I do have for you is, of all the past Intercontinental Champions, is there one that you wish you could share the ring with in their prime?
There are a bunch of them, obviously, because almost all of the all-time greats had the title once before. So you can name the obvious: Bret, Shawn, Austin. There are like so many guys that would be great to be in the ring with.
Any of those would be phenomenal. I think most of them are probably glad that they're retired, so they don't have to get in the ring with you. So I'm looking at this championship here. One question I did have. We just saw the Cody Rhodes documentary on Peacock, which was a great documentary. One of the things they showed was when he brought back the classic Intercontinental Championship belt.
Yes.
Do you have, for me growing up, that to me, that was the Intercontinental title belt. Do you have one that to you, is it that one, maybe the Attitude Era? Was there one that stands out to you as like in your mind when you think Intercontinental Championship?
Oh yeah, obviously the 90s one with the black strap. That would be the one that stands out for me, obviously, but I'm very pleased with that one, I would say, because that's the design that people are going to connect with me. Looking back, and that's the design where I could put my own spin on the title and add to its legacy.
I love that, because people do think in their mind, they'll think that old school one, maybe they think Macho Man, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, you mentioned before. But yes, with you holding this as long as you have, I really do feel like this is now synonymous with you. So that's really cool. Another question I had for you, more of a personal question here. When you do your chops, do you ever worry that you will crush somebody's chest?
No, I don't worry about that.
I do. When I watch it, I worry that you will do that. Has there ever been anybody that, I mean, you are such a physical wrestler. Has there ever been anybody that you've heard of? I'm sure they wouldn't say it to you, but you've heard of. And you don't have to tell us who the person is. But have you ever heard through the grapevine, hey, that person was a little like, man, I don't know if I want to get in there with Gunther?
Actually, I didn't.
Really?
I gotta be honest. Yes, I have the opposite experience. I have some guys telling me they want to be in the ring with me, which is a very nice compliment to get. But no, not so far. But even if they would, that's none of my issue.
So yeah, I mean, you're just gonna go chop the hell out of them anyway. So, right now we talked about 40 days away from becoming the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. But I've heard in interviews before you talking about wanting to go on to WrestleMania. You look at WrestleMania 40. It's going to be my hometown of Philadelphia. Is that still, that's in your mind? Obviously, you have no intention of losing this. Do you want to go in? We mentioned the Honky Tonk Man losing at SummerSlam. He lost the Ultimate Warrior, who then took that Intercontinental Championship right with him to WrestleMania. So is that something that's in your mind?
If the chance is there for that, I would definitely aim for that. I can be in the Royal Rumble as the Intercontinental Champion, and if I get the chance to be in there, I'm gonna definitely be one of the favorites to win it. And that would automatically lead to WrestleMania. So if the opportunity for that is there, I will definitely shoot for that. But it's not too much on my mind if that happens or not. I'm focused on what's happening now. We're in Detroit. There's SummerSlam tomorrow. I got Drew tomorrow. One of the biggest matches of my career, and that's where my full focus goes.
I was going to mention Drew McIntyre, of course, former Intercontinental Champion himself, former WWE Champion. Going into this, you guys aren't strangers by any means, but going into this, do you have a different, how do you prepare, I should ask, for somebody like Drew? Drew's, you're obviously not a small man by any means, but somebody of Drew's size. How do you prepare for him any differently than maybe you would somebody else on the roster? Also with his experience of being in these massive events.
Yeah. I mean, the experience is something you cannot prepare for because you either have it or you don't. That's nothing you can teach. But Drew's interesting because he's a little bit taller. He's a little bit heavier. That's not a situation I'm usually in. What I think I can do, I can outlast him, so I worked on my cardio a little bit. And I think I'm technically more sound than him. So those are the two things that, are going to be an advantage for me, and I think that's what I will have to play into.
One more thing I want to ask you was, you mentioned, your cardio, your physical transformation a couple of years ago. Yeah. What went into that? Both, what did you change, but also at what point, what made you say to yourself, because it's not like you were having any trouble in the ring, and obviously you had been signed, that wasn't something that was holding you back, or so it seemed. What was it mentally that made you say, okay, I'm going to just completely transform my body? And then also, how did you do that?
I mean, when I got called up to the main roster, I was like, okay, you're going to be way more in the public eye. You're on TV every week. So I was like, I got to bring an updated version of myself. They did the name change, so I got to bring an updated package. And that was the idea behind it. Even when I started, like when I moved over here, I knew I'm gonna be in the main roster at some point. I didn't even know about the name change. It just came along then, and then I just dialed in the diet and did it.
Diet is key, right? That's it.
The most important thing. Can't outwork a bad diet.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. Best of luck. Drew and I go back many, many years back to OVW. I've known him a long time. We'll cover this, do not tell him, but I'm rooting for you to hit that longest reign of all time. Congratulations on all the success and good luck tomorrow.